Yeah, we're about to put the Catalytic Converter back in. This 2008 Honda Accord 3.5 liter, replacing the Catalytic Converter Bank 1. As you can see, this is where I took it out before, and this is where we're going to put it back on through here. You know, you're going to have to kind of wiggle it a little bit and mess with it and get it over this, you know. One of the time I was thinking about moving this, but I don't think I have to. It probably could go back through the same way I came out because I took it out that way, so it should go back in that way. So let's go ahead and put this back in. As you can see, I got it past this and it went in. You just gotta mess with it. This plastic, you might gotta, wiggle it, push it down, but it's already down. So now we're gonna get down there and we start putting it back in. Okay, now all you do, just go ahead and put it back down where it's supposed to be, down below. Trying to hold this and show you at the same time. And put it back where it needs to go to at the bottom. See at the bottom down there? Right. And then you put it on top of these. But before we do that, don't forget, we got to put those two studs back in that we took out. Remember? Those two studs over there, right here. We're about to put them back in. As you can see, I already got one of them in. Now I'm about to put the other one in. So like I said, all you do, you got to put the catalytic converter down so you can get to these bolts. I'm going to try to put this one in while you're watching and just start it by hand. Yeah, you start it by hand. It's going in, it's turning by hand. When it's almost in, you still put it in by hand until it stops. See that? It's almost in. When it get that close, you get you the size that's this on, and you tighten. See that? You tighten it. You can use a ratchet to tighten it. See that? It's getting tight. See that? It's tight. The outside one is to tighten it. And then when you're done, you reverse this and put on the outside and put another one right here and break them. They go in opposite direction, and then the bolts will come off, and then we're about to put the catalytic converter up on top. All right, so go ahead and do that. Okay, now both of them is in, as you can see. Now, don't forget to put your new gasket in. All right, you're gonna put your new gasket in, and then you're gonna try to put the converter back up on those 4 bolts. All right. Yeah, when you're trying to put these 4 bolts up here, they might be kind of hard because don't forget the bottom exhaust is loose. So what you might have to do is go at the bottom and move the exhaust so this could go on here. That's what I had to do. I had to go at the bottom and move it a little bit out the way, and then at the bottom you could push this up. I'll show you in a minute. All right. You see them at the bottom. That's the catalytic converter, right? If you look right here at the bottom, see those studs? That's what they're doing. They're hitting up on that. So what you're gonna have to do is come to the bottom and push this down. See that? So that it will fit up there on those bolts, because you could stay down here and you could guide it on those bolts. And then go back up top and put those 4 nuts on it. So that's how you have to do it when you're putting it in. If it's not lining up, if it's not getting on them holes, what happened is it's sitting inside of this thing. See that? And then you could come down here. That's why we're losing the pipe. We could move it down, see? And it's out the way. So you got to come down here, get up there right. You see that? Put them on those things. Go back up and put the bolts in it. We're going back to the top so I can show you. The bolts is already back on it. Now we back up top. See, we back up top. The bolts are in. Now go ahead and tighten all 4 of these bolts. And while you're up here, you could go ahead and put your O2 sensor back in. All right. Yeah, now you should be done putting your oxygen sensor back in it after you tighten up those bolts, those 4 nuts, I mean. Put your gasket in. Now the top, it's almost complete, but you're gonna have to, when you put this in, we're gonna plug it up later. It goes in here, but we're gonna plug it up later. All right, now we're going to the bottom to get the bottom right. Now we're back on the car. So now we're about to put the catalytic converter back into these holes. See those? The exhaust. You got this loose. We're gonna try to put those back in on that side, and also these right here in the front. All right. So you have to put that in first, the back one, for them to line up and start another bolt. Just start them, and then you come back to the front, and you put these up, and you do the same thing. You put these up, and you put the bolts. It should be, let me see. Don't forget, it's a gasket supposed to be right here. Not, yes, a gasket supposed to be here. Make sure it is before you put it back up. Same thing as some new gaskets I got. You need to put one right there also. Okay? Go ahead and do that. I'll be back. Yeah. See? You put that down in there. There go the gasket. Put that in. You do the same thing for the front. And then you tighten them up. See, all 3 of them is in. All 3 of them is in that one. With the bolt. With the bolts. Go ahead and tighten up those bolts. And after we finish tightening them bolts, we're going to put that bracket back. You see this bracket? We're going to put it back before we tighten those bolts so we can move it back and forth to line up in that hole right there. Put that screw back in, and then we're going to put the O2 sensor up here. The O2 sensor back in. All right? Go ahead and do that. Got that bolt back in. What I did was, you see, like right up on here, I put this little flathead and raise it up. Raise that up so I can meet the hole. All right? Go ahead and tighten that up. Tighten all the bolts up out under the exhaust, the 3 in the back, 3 in the front, and also put that O2 sensor back in. All right? And then we're going to put this right here back over that boot, and we'll finish with the bottom when you get through with all those. All right? So go ahead and do that, and then we're going back to the top. Okay, now we're back at the top. We're gonna put those back in. See those connectors? the one you take off with the oxygen sensors. We're gonna go ahead and put them on back on these brackets. See these brackets? We're gonna go ahead and put them back on and then connect these back and snap them in on that bracket. Alright, go ahead and do that. Okay. See right here? So the back of this, that's what goes up on the bottom of this right here. And you push it up. When you push it up, then you come take this and you snap that on top of it. Right there. And you snap it in. Alright? Oxygen sensors back in. What we're about to do, we're about to put these coils back in and bolt them down with the 10mm, all three of them. Alright? Go ahead and do that. You should already put those coils in. And now all you gotta do now is plug them in. Go ahead and plug them in. Go ahead and plug all three of them in. Alright. And listen for that clip. Same thing with all three. Put the clips in.
So early this season, he was getting a lot of talk about MVP. Then Saquon puts up the ridiculous numbers last week out of Los Angeles.
Make sure the arm put it good. Arm put it good.
2 weeks ago was Josh Allen.
Okay, that's done. Then we're gonna put this bracket. You see this bracket? This bracket goes back up here like that. With those two bolts, go ahead and put those back in. See that? See that hole? Go ahead and put the bolts back in it. Alright? We're almost done. You should already put that bracket in also. That's how the bracket looks. See that? You bolt it in, that in. Make sure all your bolts is in, tighten. Now we're about to put that ball back in. We're almost done. We put that ball back in, and then we can crank it up. The Catalytic Converter is already bolted up and in. That's in. Also, don't forget we tied it up there. You remember? We tied this line up. Cut that. And then we gotta bolt it back up right here. We gotta bolt it back right there. This goes down like that. And we line it up to that hole right there, and we bolt it back in. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll be bolting these 3 bolts back in for that ball. Okay? And we almost done. When you bolt that ball back in, all 3 of these, and all 3 on that side, you gotta put this rubber back up here. See that? You gotta lift it back up and put it back on that bracket right here. So you just go ahead and put it back on that bracket. You can put it back on now. You got six nuts, 3 here and 3 over there. And then we almost finished. We just got to put that rubber back up at the bottom on the exhaust. And that's the way you install a Catalytic Converter on the 2008 Honda Accord 3.5 liter V6. Man, that's the end of this job, man. See that? Everything back together. We pulled the Catalytic Converter exhaust from right here. We came straight up with it. We didn't have to drop all that stuff at the bottom, but this job is done. The only thing you got to do back at the bottom is put that rubber. See this rubber? Put that rubber back up on here, and then this job will be done. But just go ahead and check your stuff. You should have already put the exhaust back in. We never took it off the clip. Everything is back together. So this will be the end of this video. Don't forget, subscribe, tell a friend, like, share, and comment. Until next video, big up to the Virgin Islands, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, Peabody and Cecil, especially St. Croix. Big up. End of the video.